Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. We have been discussing many different topics of interest to develop the various aspects and attitudes of life. So, let me continue one more anecdote from my own life, which will essentially give you some idea about the subject of pragmatic leadership I have been discussing. So, in the last session, I explained about how I finished up with my school final with a pathetic score and then subsequently got stuck for my career ambitions. So I also mentioned that I wasted almost 1 year without going into any academic pursuits after my school final because I was very adamant that I will only join engineering college. So I had to reconcile over a period of time that 1 year of break gave me an idea as an youngster, 15, 16 years old, that what do I do subsequently to take my life forward. Many a times when the children are not getting the right type of a guidance, they are not in a position to decide what they need to do in their life. So as I mentioned that if early disappointments in life leads to a lot of bad habits and then getting lost in the drug addiction and so on and so forth. So on those days, of course, drugs were not available, so I could not become a drug addict. But nevertheless, that 1 year of my break, I was just sitting and pondering that if life doesn't offer me what I want, should I take what it is offering? So yesterday I was listening to Eckhart Tolle, one of the German philosopher, who has spent a lot of time in the Oriental countries and then picked up a lot of our Vedantic stuff. He's saying that the life is something will continue to offer challenges on a regular basis. In fact, the so-called life by definition is nothing but facing challenges or problems and solving one after the other. In other words, you can call life as a problem-solving exercise. So he says that in life, the situations or the people or the circumstances or the environment, etc., will continue to pose certain challenges in terms of what we want and what in reality it is happening. And then we are constantly, facing some kind of a mental turbulence and the life goes on like that. So always when the life offers you a challenge, there is an approach that you can buckle and then give up, or you can spring back and then try to face those challenges and take alternative routes in your life and then make a good difference of it. So Eckhart Tolle explains that there are two types of challenges. One is in reality there is a problem which you need to face it and fix it. The other one is you are going through a mental kind of drama that a problem exists and you keep on thinking about it and create much more kind of a problem for yourself. So there is a mental problem which is essentially is nothing but the real problem is very minor in nature, but your mental drama goes on with a lot of anxieties and fear and so on. Like for example, you see a small pimple somewhere in your face, then you start thinking it could be cancerous. So there is no end to this drama of facing challenges in life and interpreting them, etc. So right from my childhood, I took up an attitude that if life doesn't offer you what you want, then you have to choose something which probably as an alternate and then move on. So I remember Lao Tzu 2500 years ago lived in China, one of the greatest philosophers. has said that you need to flow like a river in your life, and then you will ultimately reach your destiny irrespective of what kind of obstacles that you face. So if you look at a river, for example, it starts from Himalayas or somewhere at the top of the mountain, and then it faces lots of challenges in terms of obstacles coming in between. But the river doesn't stop there and start complaining that it finds an alternate path and then moves on towards its destination of reaching the ocean. So that's what Lao Tzu says. In the same way, I took a decision after a year that although I will not go to a polytechnic, I reconciled that that's what is offered to me at that point in time. So I went back to the polytechnic where I had a lot of difficulties because my score was not sufficient even to get into a well-known, reputed polytechnic. So finally I managed to join the polytechnic that time. And then I thought that I need to take my education very seriously. So my setback in my school final, where I got a much lesser score than what a studious student will aspire to get. So I didn't decide that that is what is my kind of end state. So I felt that in one incident, whether I have failed, it doesn't mean I am a failure. That means all my potentials are still there in me. So I can manifest a different kind of a result in my life. So I took my diploma education very seriously. Normally what you don't like, you show a stepmotherly treatment to that. But I took it very seriously and then struggled quite a lot in my first year because I was not exposed to the mathematics and physics etc. in the pre-university. I directly joined my diploma course, so I had a problem of getting good ranks in the first year. And again there was a question paper got leaked out, and many people in the hostel accessed the question paper, and the whole exam results was a mess actually. So I just scraped through the first year of my diploma course because of this problem of question paper leaking etc. But that was another setback in my own educational career. But nevertheless, I didn't give up. When I came back to second year, I thought that I should become the university rank holder. So I have clearly set my goals and then started working very seriously. And then I became the first rank in my second year and also the second rank in the university in the final year. So I finished up my diploma course with a brilliant academic record, and then I rewritten my earlier school final failure because I didn't want to conclude failing one time doesn't mean you are a failure. So all your potentials are still there, and then you can spring back in your life and take everything positively. So that is how I finished my diploma in mechanical engineering, and going forward I will take this story in greater detail. What is the lesson I learned in this part of my life is, that means you can't be expecting everything happening as you want in your life, because what we want is so many and what is available is so less, with the result almost 99% of what we want will not happen in life. So that means you cannot just get dejected and then say that I am not going to take it positively and I will get depressed and then I will kill myself. That's not the right attitude. Second is, just because once you have failed in something, that doesn't mean you are a failure. You can always come back with a full vigor and then make a different kind of outcome in your life. And again, what way you are looking at anything, it decides your paradigm, and your results are commensurate to the way in which you are looking at it. Although I hated going to the polytechnic, but I started loving my education later. And then I thought that I should really bring about great results in that education. If you would have continued with the same bitterness with which I refused to go to a polytechnic, I would have probably messed up with my education. So, what is most important is constantly you are trying to review your own kind of a beliefs and paradigms, and then what is not good for you, drop them, and then what is good for you, you start picking it up and pursue it. So, what I found, this positive outlook of life is a very important ingredient for you to make progress. And at the end of the day, that your result is commensurate to your efforts. So, if you put more efforts with a belief that you can succeed, then the results are also commensurate to that. So, that is what it is, the lessons I learned out of this part of the journey called life. So, look forward to share with you many more such anecdotes and give you some perspective of how these are all helping me to relate to the subject of pragmatic leadership. Thank you very much for your patient listening. God bless you. Take care.